Hey, what's good, humans and aliens? It's gLife here. Welcome back to my music production series on YouTube, where we make a piece of music, usually a beat, and we discuss music-related topics. Today, what we will be doing is a hip-hop beat for beginners in Logic Pro X. We'll also be discussing networking. Check out the links below to the GarageBand tutorials that we did. We did 3 of them last week. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel as it helps the algorithm. And if you're ready, I'm red-eye. It's magic time. My name's gLife and I've been a touring musician for the last 10 years. When 2020 changed all of that, I hunkered down in my basement music studio and decided to become the internet's most ballerest Bitcoin beat maker on the planet. Learn along with me, let's make some magic. We use the power of our magic crystals to create good music.
Brain Trust Gang.
What's up, y'all? It's George Kramer, coming to you from the Brain Trust Gang. Today we're talking about networking. There's a lot of different ways to do networking. The easiest way to initiate networking these days would be through social media. With social media, you might want to join a producers group. Search out #producer, search out names on Twitter, prod by, go to some of the bigger names in production. You go to their pages, you start joining in their conversations, and you become someone who is a part of the community. Maybe they have a Telegram community, maybe they have a Discord community, maybe they have a Facebook group. You might be going to a weekly hip-hop night, weekly open mic night. And always, we go back to our initial conversation of goals. What is your goal? Is your goal to meet clients to make sales? Or is your goal to meet other producers? So you got to assess your goals. I think for beat making, I think the best thing to do is join the producer community. Go from there and take their advice. If your goal is to meet artists, then you would do the same, but just with the artist community. You would reach out to rappers, singers, in person and online. The one thing you don't want to be doing is spamming people. And I have been guilty of this in the past, but you live and you learn. If you're reaching out to another producer, you don't want to be like, collab? ? The best thing you want to do is be genuine, join the conversation. If your goal is engagement, then go ahead and go for engagement. But if your goal is to make genuine connections, you want to avoid the engagement tweets, you want to avoid the spam, you want to be genuine, you want to be real. And that's my advice, networking from the Brain Trust Gang.
Brain Trust Gang.
Welcome back. Let's dive right into it. If you've seen the GarageBand Pro, there is no GarageBand Pro. Logic Pro is GarageBand Pro. If you've seen the GarageBand tutorials that we did, then you know what most of these are. We have a software instrument, which we will be opening first. Audio would be to capture our microphone through our USB interface. Drummer track, we will go over in a minute. If you've seen the GarageBand tutorials, you know what the drummer track is. Guitar or bass, you plug into the interface as well, and it puts a few effects on it. Sounds really good. External MIDI I've never used. I assume it's just to use an external MIDI device, but we also can use our external MIDI devices as the software instrument. So we will begin by opening a software instrument. Now, if you saw there before, it had default patch, this and that. We won't. This is a Logic Pro X tutorial for beginners to dive in and get a beat going, as opposed to learning the intricacies of everything. So we're gonna dive in and get a beat going. It's not even. Oh man. Okay. Ooh, I caught that. This GoPro just froze. Or did I never start it? We'll find out. Okay, so either way, we pressed new track, we used software instrument, and it opened classic electrical piano for us. Before we go too far into this, I think we should turn on all the advanced options. I have them on, so you will want them on so that yours will look like mine. Okay, it's probably under preferences, advanced tools. Might be under general, advanced. Yeah, so right here, show advanced tools. Because you've got all these options here, audio, surround, MIDI, control, score. So show advanced tools. and then you'll be looking, yours will be looking like mine. Again, that was under Logic Pro, Preferences, Advanced Tools, and here we go. So you got your library over here. You can always hide it just by using that. Inspector track. And what this has a lot. We're not going to dive into every single thing. Again, EQs, if you click on that, your first popular EQ will show up. E piano. Okay, so that's going to be the patch. This is going to be the instrument, it looks like. You got an E piano here. Either way, what we do with this is we are going to open up something else here in a second. Audio effects, you got your buses. Just ignore that. Just ignore the buses. Audio effects you're going to use for like plugins. Logic Pro comes with some. I've installed some. Yeah, Amp Designer is really cool. So this is the Amp Designer pedal board and stuff to get your guitars, and I use the ukulele. If you have seen the GarageBand tutorials that we did 3 GarageBand tutorials. That will explain a lot of these layouts to you. So this should all look familiar to you. You have your tempo right here. Just going to control the pace of the track, how fast, how slow, everything goes. And that is attached to this grid here. So that's 120 beats per minute, BPM. This is your click track here, and this is your count in. So this will count you in a little bit ahead of time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you got your time to do what you got to do. If you click here, this will create a loop region. So it'll just play back and forth, back and forth. These are your bars. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., etc. You use these things right here. This will help you shrink down and expand what you're staring at. You're always going to have a little logo here for your instrument. You can always rename it by double clicking. Okay, so right here we have more tools. This is going to be your left click tool. I recommend just keeping it as a arrow. Your command click tool, I make mine a pencil, so when I hit command, I can draw in a region just like that with the pencil. And you saw I moved it, so you can move these regions around. In fact, a lot of people would recommend starting on bar 2 instead of bar 1. But we're just going to keep things easy, bar 1. There's nothing in this region, I just drew it. If you double click it, it will bring up what we call the piano roll. Here's your piano roll. If you look sideways, it's a piano. And you can click on the keys. The keys represent the sound that we chose up here, classic electric piano. So now if you can see these, this is the yellow loop region. So you have your bar 1 all the way to bar 2. It's we're going to pull out our view just a little bit. Boom. So that's our 4 bars. So if we want to, we can pull out the pencil tool. Again, pencil tool is going to be our command click. We could just start drawing in notes. This looks like around a C. And you're going to use your space bar to play, and you got these as well. See? Boom. If you want to change the tempo on that, make it way faster. Make it way slower. Like way slower. Well, it's too slow. Right. So, stupid example. There we go. You can just highlight everything by kind of dragging over it. Delete. Or you could do Command Z is always a good one to know. Command Z is your undo tool. So let's see if Command K brings up our musical typing like it did in GarageBand. Boom! We got our musical typing keyboard. Musical typing keyboard looks like this keyboard, right? So once again, check out the GarageBand tutorials we did. Went over all of this, but we'll do it again. So you got you can just click it in with a mouse. Click in those buttons, right? That represents the middle of the keyboard. These represent your octaves. So if you want to go higher on the keyboard, I'm going to go lower on the keyboard. So, and then also, you can do all the same just right on here. That's why it's called musical keyboard. Turns your keyboard into a piano. And we're going to use this for the beginners. As you can see, I have some nice MIDI keyboards that I quite enjoy. But we're just going to use this. We're going to make a simple beat. We're going to do everything nice, simple, and easy. Okay, we got our musical typing keyboard. I love it. Classic electric piano. All right. Now, even though this is for beginners, we're going to move beyond just these instruments here. I want to show you the most powerful thing that Logic Pro has to offer beyond that GarageBand does not have to offer. We're going to go down here to our instrument. We're going to open up Alchemy. So so Logic Pro X comes with Alchemy. Alchemy is what you would consider a virtual instrument. And when we click on it, this comes up. And you can just imagine already what we have here. You have all this, you have so many sounds, categories, genres, timbres, etc. So we're not going, I don't actually know that's pronounced timbre. I don't even know that's pronounced genre. It might be genre. No, I do know that one. I'm sorry. I want to make it easy. We've been doing these pianos and these guitar beats. Let's just do another one. I really like pianos and guitars. So we clicked on keys. You have acoustic, electric, layered. You can just keep it on all. And you can sort through here. Look how many of those. 170 different keys. 155 different guitars. So that's why I wanted to open this up. You could play with the instruments on the side here, the user patches, but that's the same stuff as GarageBand. And at the end of the day, this is good to learn because once you've messed with Alchemy, you can move on to some of the other ones. There's a bunch of free ones and or cheap ones. For example, Expand 2, XPAND 2. That's, I think I got that one for $9.99. That also comes free with Pro Tools. So if you're building beats inside of Pro Tools, that might be what you would use instead of this. I got one for $9.99 called Octane that I really like. And there's a bunch of free ones. You look online, virtual instruments, VSTs, plugins. The big ones are like Omnisphere is the one that everyone talks about. I don't have Omnisphere. It's $400. Find a link in the description below and you can donate. And I will spend my first $400 on Omnisphere if that's what you stipulate in the donations. As you know, all donations and sales are transferred into cryptocurrency. And we've been making a murderous killing on it, which allows us to do our art for next to nothing. You could spend a year just playing with all these sounds, for sure. So we're just going to pick some keys. We're going to go through a few. Okay, so again, I say this in every episode, but the first thing to do to get better at beats is to improve on your melodies, get better at melodies. And one of the best ways to do that would be to learn music theory. The other best thing to do for these beats is to spend a lot of time going through all of these sounds. That's why people like Omnisphere so much, because it creates the best sounds. I thought Octane was really good for $9.99. I think it creates some really good sounds. Alchemy creates some good sounds, and then you have all these other options down here. I mean, we're listening to this now, and we could put a high resonance on it, put squeaks on it. So you have 170 presets and unlimited preset ability in between there. What I actually did was I got Serum, and I got Serum also on the student discount. I contacted them for a student discount. They gave me a good student discount, and then I bought a bunch of Serum bank sounds on eBay. I got like 1,500 trap patch sounds for Serum. And it's cool. It all sounds really good. We will find some sounds. You know I love bells. Okay. I think we might have found our melody and our sound. I know, it's so simple, but we just have to keep things simple for right now. We're going to close that down for now. If you ever need to bring it back up, click on the patch you're on, click right here. These little lines represent kind of your settings. So it probably would be right here too. Click on that, boom. Something real simple. If we want, we can just record it in without the piano roll. I think that's what we'll do. And then we'll go to the piano roll after. So let's hear it. We want something around like a trap tempo. Actually, we're gonna keep it at 120 because that was the default. We're just gonna keep everything nice and simple. Actually, I didn't explain that. Okay, so press this button or R, and that will record you in. I'm going to take the loop region off. The cycle range, they call it. I'm going to take that off so I can keep recording if I choose to. It's not working. No, I think it might just be too slow. I think we might have to crank this up to about a trappish area. So we're going to Command Z, undo that. Okay, that undid the tempo. Okay, we're going to go back up to the tempo, about 150. We have to go back. We have to press the button to go back. Okay, we're going to press record. It's going to count us in. We're going to nail it. We're going to get rich. I think that was it. So as I've shown you in the other tutorials, okay, here comes my dog, so I'm just going to be quiet for a second while she comes down here and makes noise. Good girl. Hi, Tilly. You want to lay down? Go lay down. Good girl. Guess my chair makes noise too. So usually when I'm making a beat, I have like the TV on too. I'm doing something else. It's so my brain just goes everywhere. All right, so what we're gonna do with that? What did I just? I got confused with Tilly. Okay, so because this is built on a grid, we are looking for 4-bar, 8-bar, 16-bar pieces. And because this is built on a grid, we can just choose this 4 bars that actually did better than this 4. So I will grab this lower area of the region, click it, pull it all the way to where it began. Now I can take that because it's 4 bars. We're gonna scooch it over. It's got 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar. We're gonna double click it. That will bring it up in the piano roll. At this point, I think we should quantize it. So to quantize, you highlight and press Q. Your quantizing is going to be over here. You can quantize to 1/16 of a note, 1/8 of a note. What quantizing does is it puts everything on the grid. So if your notes are meant to be off the grid, then you don't want to quantize. And sometimes you need to change it to one way is you highlight it all like that, and you press Q. Now, does it sound okay? That's perfect. Honestly, it's perfect. It's better than what I would have done. The other way is you just do it all by hand right here. See, I think this one needs to be scooched to the line. That one's on the line. This one probably just came a little quick. It's hard to do because sometimes they won't scooch. Sometimes you got to zoom in super hard to get it where you want it. That's not quite. I went too far, see? So when quantizing works, that's best. Let's see if it did work. Let's see if I can undo it all back to the quantized. Okay, yeah, let's just do it. We'll undo it all the way to there. Bring it back here. Highlight it all. Quantize it all. Boom. We love it. Do we love it, though? That's the real question. You know how to find out? We're going to throw a drummer track over it to see if this sample is even going to work to build off of. So, drummer track. We press plus right here to get a new track. We have the same options we went over before. We're going to choose drummer. You have your option, what genre, what genre. And we're going to choose hip hop. Now, if you've seen the GarageBand tutorials, you have seen this already. Cool, so it picked, here's over here, we got our drummer. Our drummer is Dez, and he does trap music. So this is representing like a drum machine right here. These are going to be the drums that they put in for Dez. So first thing though, because this is 8 bars, let's make ours 8 bars. So we're gonna copy and paste this. Actually, no, in Logic Pro, you can just press Command R and it'll repeat it. That's the move. Otherwise, you copy and paste it, which would be Command C, Command V. In GarageBand, they didn't have that option, Command R. We have our drummer here. Now, down here you have your parameters. So you have a bunch of presets. These are all different presets. And inside this one preset, you can adjust it here and here. This makes it loud and complex. This is loud, this is soft. Up would be loud, down would be soft. Left is simple, right is complex. So you have this dot to put anywhere in between. And as you move it, you can see the actual waveforms changing. So it was over here, loud and complex. I like that. Now also, we can add these instruments in. We can add them to a 1, 2, and 3 degree. So we could add that to a 3rd degree, 2 degree. We're gonna keep them off. Cymbals and hi-hats, you can add to, looks like a 10 degree, 1 to 10 degree. We have it at a 5. Kicks, snares, and claps. I mean, I like snares and claps, so let's kick that up to a 5. You have a 5 out of 7. Okay, these are really odd and random, but whatever. Fills and your swing. You know, I'm still learning. I'm still a beginner too, but I know swing is very important. So whatever, and that's so we just adjusted this a tiny bit, tiny bit. We don't actually want it loud. Let's have it just complex and medium, and let's hear if our sample works with it. I swear to you, some producers would put that out just like that, and you know what they'd say? They'd say, I made 10 beats a day, how many did you make? I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. Okay, so I think it sounds dope. Those drums are dope. Those drums are like, they're cooler than I could do, honestly. But I'm learning, and you don't get better without trying, doing things on your own. So I use the drummer track to make sure that my samples and my melodies are going to work with a drum. Let's create like a little bit more area. We're gonna do Command R again, Command R, Command R, Command R. So now we have 24 bars of this one sample. Let's go back to let's create a new track. So we have another option here that wasn't in GarageBand Pro. This one is new track with duplicate settings. Remember GarageBand Pro. Remember in the GarageBand tutorial, we had to right click it and we had to get a new track with duplicate settings. Well, they added that in here for Logic Pro right here. So we're just gonna do that even though we're not using the same settings, and then we'll just open it. It opened the exact same patch that we were using. We will just switch it. We're going to try it and see if we can get a guitar to sound good on this. Yeah, I want some electric. See if there's some distorted. Why not? Okay, I gotta keep messing with it. I'm hearing some cool stuff though. Okay, I'm almost there. Cool, we're gonna keep it simple, and even though it took me a minute to get there, I believe this is still simple. So we're going to close this down now, and we're going to turn it down. That's a little loud compared to the other sample. We are going to record in here. We can press record here, or we can press the R button. So I'm just going to press record here. It'll count me in, and I'm going to try to nail it on at least one of these 4-bar areas. We'll drag that 4-bar area back, or 8-bar. This might be 8-bar, I forget. Either way, here we go. It's almost there. Let's go. That'll do. That last one will do. I mean, here's the problem with beat making. You want it to be perfect. You want it to be incredible. You could spend a month on one beat. At some point, you gotta call it quits and say, that was good enough. Okay, so this piece, sometimes I come in too early, so we're gonna double click this piece. You'll see, I'm gonna close this down now. This is the bar I'm supposed to come in on, but I came in early. So I can't trim it properly because it makes that note disappear. So before I can trim it properly, I gotta trim this note properly. Boom, just right there, right behind where I need it to be. Boom. That's my 8-bar piece. We are going to drag it to the beginning. I'm gonna shrink this down a tiny bit. Drag it to the beginning. And we're gonna open it and maybe quantize it. Let's see. I mean, it looks like you can see these lines where it needs to be. It's real close. This one might have been off, that one might have been off. Okay, so everything's on except those two. Let's hear if those are even right. Okay, that was off. Cool. I mean, we'll just do these ones ourselves as opposed to quantizing. Then you can see, you know, you just grab them, you pull them to where they need to go. Another thing I like to do sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't sound as good, I like to just drag them out a tiny bit. It doesn't change where the other ones start, just changes the dragging out. That did sound bad though. I'm just gonna undo it. Let me pull that one though. Okay, so we will just repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Let's make sure we get these right too. This is going to be our guitar. This was I guess it was a piano, whatever. Okay, let's add in some bass. Even though once again, it's really another debate right there if you want to add in bass or if you want to have the bass be done by the 808 or both, whatever. Again, simple beat, simple beat. So we'll just duplicate the track settings again. Oops, that one was... You can always drag these tracks in order too, like that. So, and even though it's piano, we're just gonna label it bass because we know what we're going for. We're gonna find a bass. We're gonna open up Alchemy again. We're gonna go to bass. We're just gonna go through a few of them. Okay, something's happening there. I'm soloing some tracks out. That's not what I meant to do. I'm trying to... Maybe I need to bring up the musical typing keyboard again. Interesting, okay. Cool. So, let's hear these. Okay, so I'm in the middle of the keyboard. I want to go back. For bass, I might end up wanting to go even lower. Big bright lead sounds cool. Yeah, we're gonna go with that one. We're gonna just have to figure out a bass line. So we're gonna turn everything down just a tiny bit so I can hear the bass better. And we're gonna play for a minute with some bass lines. So this. Oh, I hate myself for this, but we're just going to do the simplest bass line. It's just going to be these two notes, and it's just going to really match these two notes. I hate myself for the simplicity of it. I'm just going to add in one more instrument just for fun, and it's going to be like a bell or a pad or a flute or a chime or a triangle. I just really like those. And they're so simple, and they just... They just add a little flavor. I'm just gonna call this extra because I don't know what it is yet. We're gonna open up alchemy again. We're gonna find, looked like they had it under leads the last time. Like, and we're gonna see where the flutes are. Was it under keys? I think it was under keys, huh? We had flutes. And you have mellow chimes. Those aren't that mellow. Music box, I love music box. I mean, that's pretty cool. We can just add like, you know, make it higher. Even higher, let's see. That's probably cool. Okay, I hate myself for doing it. It's just gonna be that same simple 3 notes or whatever. They're gonna be off key like that. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, I hate myself for it. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, I hate myself for it. It's so good. Okay, we're gonna repeat that. We are going to turn everything back up just a little bit, not all the way necessarily. These make more sense than in GarageBand. In GarageBand, you had to guess what the icons meant, but M is to mute your track. That'll mute just this track. That'll mute just this track. That'll mute just this track. S is to solo. That'll solo just this track. That means the only thing I'm hearing is this track. Okay, I think that's enough for a nice, simple hip-hop beat. I think what we're going to go on to next is the drums. So the drums, there's so much to talk about with the drums and Logic Pro. Let's see if I can put this away. Okay. With the drums and Logic Pro, you have your drummer track. With the drums and Logic Pro X, you have your drummer track. You have many other options. Ultra Beat is an option that a lot of people use. Let me show you here. So we're going to do new track, and Ultra Beat is a software instrument. You have your drummer track here. If we messed with the drummer track here, the song would be done and it'd be dope and it'd be fire. We're gonna make our own drums because I need the practice. And there's lots to show about this. For instance, here is, let's see if we can find Ultra Beat. Ultra Beat, drum machine. This is like what Logic Pro was using only for a while. Now down here is what you would consider a sequencer, maybe even a step sequencer. And so you'd fill out here, and it just repeats. It's kind of hard to explain just by looking at it. But if you've ever used Fruity Loops, FL Studio, this is kind of what it is. And then you've got all your sounds here, and you've also, so your presets are going to exist up in here. Drum kits, drum banks. So we got like a hip hop heavy kit. When you put this in as your instrument, it will match your BPM. And if you listen, it'll basically do what the drummer track did. It just gives you an awesome preset. Got to turn the power on here. You can switch the kits and hear them in real time, you know. Human beatbox. Alright, so I'm gonna pick one that's like just one of these hip hop ones, just to show you what you do. I mean, I don't even like that setup really, but if you do like it, you take what's called, you do this. This is the pattern down here. You drag to a range window, it says. See, so you drag this and this pattern will input in here. And from there you can repeat it. And then you can like add in a couple things Even they'll probably sound like crap because I'm not the best. And then you put that in there just to make things different, right? Anyway, that's the Ultra Beat. Oh snap! I don't know what I just did. I might have undone too much. No, we're okay. That's Ultra Beat. Ultra Beat's cool. And a lot of people, so what a lot of people use Ultra Beat for is they will spend a few days like making drum patterns at 150 BPM, making drum patterns at 120 BPM, making drum patterns at 90 BPM. That way they have their own drum patterns that they actually made that they can then use, drag and drop into very easily, almost like a drummer track. That way they don't, basically what they're doing is they're spending a few days on drums and then they don't have to spend any time on drums anymore. They pull it out when they want to pull it out. They have their drums there, readily available. So those are two options, right? You got Ultra Beat, you got the drummer track. Both good options. Yeah, your drum kit's over here. Same thing. So Blue Ridge is a cool one. Detroit Garage is a cool one. A lot of people are using these. Let's see, there was like a trap one. Even the same electronic drum kit. So you got a trap one down here. Oh, there's a lot more than I used to have. Oh yeah, because this isn't GarageBand. This is Logic Pro. So you got your trap door here, and these are your sounds down here. So you got your hi-hat open, hi-hat 2, hi-hat 1. Obviously, I mean, trap is big on hi-hats, okay? So let's just draw in a couple here. I mean, just to show you. Okay, well, I love undoing. What we'll do is the undo, so we'll just make it, I mean, trap's like faster, you know what I mean? Do some shit like that. And then you could build other sounds up on here, or what I would do instead is I would duplicate settings, and then I would build the sounds down here. So that way you have every channel has its own sounds. So that's one way to do drums as well. That's a really good way of doing drums. It's a really good way of doing drums. This is also. Now this is my favorite way of doing drums, but there's also a final other way of doing drums. Okay, you got your empty, this is the drum machine designer. So you got to think about a drum machine. Oh man, I'm not even gonna be able to do it here. Drum machine, so I got this guy, right? So that's what I do is I load in these sounds and then I can tap these and actually play it in, like, because it's a lot of fun, you know, when you're like, you know, but because we're just using this keyboard today, we're not going to do that, but I'll show you how to bring in the sounds too. So over here, you're going to have your sound library. In fact, we didn't cover any of this, but this is your loop browser, and we're not using loops. So that's why we didn't bring it up at all. Notepads, loop browser, browser. But your loop browser is very interesting because it's loaded with loops, especially for drums. It's good, definitely, like, you know, some producers feel like it's cheating using loops. Drums, especially, it's not cheating. But I don't use loops. I like making everything from scratch. I'll tell you why. I'm not that good at beat making, and I need to get better. So right here, you have your browsers. In your browsers, you want to go to wherever you keep your drum kits. By default, Logic Pro is going to keep them in Music, Logic, Drum Kits. So, drum kits right here. Now, you might have got these from some people, or you might have downloaded them online. These official Spins 808, that's a really big popular one. There's these Cymatics is a very popular one. I love this Asparagus Lo-Fi drum kit. So what you would do is you would import these sounds into the Drum Machine Designer. Because we don't have any pads set up, we're not going to be able to hear this. But what you would do is you would put, you know, whatever, it doesn't really matter where you put what. You got a hi-hat, you got a clap. We'll toss in 808, 808 number 1, boom. Kick. Snare. I always try to add in something weird, like you know, he'll have these perks probably, you know, I don't even know what they are. I'll take a guess, you know, a shaker or something like that. And then we'd play them in, boom, 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 boom. And there's one more final thing to do here, to do your drums. And as we play them in, then you could actually adjust them in the piano roll as well. Now there's one more thing, the step sequencer. So here's your steps. Oh, okay, so I can click them in here. Perfect. So because I don't have the pads drummed up, we're going to use the step sequencer. We can hide the library over there. If we want, we can hide the library over there. Lots of room now. You can hear. That's my hi-hat, you know. I'd probably just put hi-hats on everything. 16 steps. We'll just do 8. Oh, I guess 12, whatever. Because, so what this is going to do is it's just going to run in a loop. And, you know, we'll put the claps on like 2s, and we'll just put it on 2s. And, oh, you got your 808. Wow. Okay, I've never used the step sequencer. I've only seen it. And it's cool. But obviously I'm using it wrong. We'll take some of these out. Oops, did I do it? Every other. Cool. 2, 2, 2. 1, 1. Let's just hear it. Alright, so it looked like it only changed that 1. Just okay. Well, let's just hear it. Alright, so imagine what you'd do here is you'd set the loop region. Here we go. Now let's start playing with it. That's pretty fun. That's cool. Yeah, I like that step sequencer. You know, they added a lot of stuff. Logic Pro, again, this is a tutorial for beginners, so I'm probably going way too hard on the drums already. I spent way too much time on the drums. But that's because with Logic Pro X, there's so many options with the drums. They just added a bunch of this stuff. A bunch of this stuff is new. And it's meant to compete with It's meant to compete with Fruity Loops. It's meant to compete with Ableton. You know, they added in the live, they added in the step sequencer, they added in their sampler. Their sampler is changed, and I love the Drum Machine Designer. I love being able to play it on the pads. So there's just so many options for your drums. So many options. At the end of the day, what we're going to do for this one, we're just going to draw them in. Just going to draw in some drums, simple drums. Probably do like 2 different patterns, or 1 pattern with 2 different changes. Real simple and easy. So we'll do that now. You know, this has been fun. that will be fun to explore more another day. Delete that track. We're going to add a new software instrument track. And we're just going to do this. We're just going to do electronic drum kit. Ooh, tight trap. Yeah, because they had the trap door on GarageBand. We'll do tight trap. And that's it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to build the drums up. We'll build them up on different tracks. And we will get to that right now. I'll show you. It's that simple. You know, you got all these. Okay, so we'll put the... Well, we won't even do the keyboard. We're just going to put some of these in here. I mean, hi-hats. You're just doing these hi-hats. Yeah, it's real easy. I don't know what the deal is with this first bar. It's just not filling out like it's supposed to. Okay. Turn everything down a little bit like that. So at the end we'll do, I kept calling it a stutter, but I guess apparently it's like a roll. Or we'll just shrink these even smaller. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, these drums are going to be real simple, but there's some real simple tricks that you can just do that make it, that are just real simple. Do that. We will do that. That. We'll duplicate this. We'll have that go down to like, we'll do some claps. Let's see. Claps should be easy. Boom. That's simple. That's simple and easy. Oh, no. Got it wrong. Got to stretch it to fit. Okay. Duplicate. What's next on the drums? Maybe a kick and a snare. Boom. Simple. Easy. Do that again. And we will do the snare. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why that's not it right there. Why not? Alright, once again, not the greatest beat. I like it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a brief mix of the volumes. And then we will create intro, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, outro. So let's just adjust the volumes real quick. Let's try what we tried in one of these other tutorials. I kind of want to hear what this guitar sounds like 1 octave up. You know, electric guitar sounds good high, you know. Got to turn that down a lot. Yeah. Let's mess with this for a minute. Oh yeah, you're a good sleepy dog. You're a good sleepy dog. Let's see what this sounds like. Keep the intro going just a little longer. Nice build. It's always good to build things up. So then what, you add the piano, And maybe we add the bass halfway through. Maybe this, the kicks. That sound, I bet that'll be a cool intro. Into the chorus. Go a little longer. Okay, we got all the pieces, so we will just keep going. Okay, so that's 4, that's 8, that's 16. So this will be the chorus. I'll have to go verse, verse, and we'll see from there. If there's something we should, now we should always take something out, something to differentiate. I think that's good enough. That's nice and simple. Again, we'll use this like this. Okay, so we'll grab, this is the chorus and chorus verse. So we're going to copy it all. That's chorus verse. That's chorus verse 2, chorus verse 3, chorus verse 4, but we will erase the verse and turn it into an outro instead. It's cool. It's a fine beat. Final step would be save it, name it, bounce it. So bounce is like share. Bounce is better than export. You bounce it like this. We'll just bounce it right now. So I try to have everything highlighted. It doesn't really matter all the time, but sometimes it'll only bounce like one of these tracks instead of all of them. So I highlighted everything. I can see it all. I'm going to save. First of all, I'm going to save this as, we'll save it. Saving's smart. Now we'll bounce it. Bounce, project or section. Got your options here. I like MP3, PCM, wave. So that should give me a wave and a MP3 at the end of it. Interleaved. It'll save in bounces. Boom. Our final discussion for the day. In each of these episodes, I like to talk about follow-up, beat making follow-up, music follow-up, whatever. So today, I'm going to go through my personal post-beat workflow. That means is, what's my process when I finish a beat? Here's my process. You saw I just bounced it. I'm going to highlight these two. I'm going to copy these two. I'm going to put them in my beat for sale folder. Now, part of the post workflow is, got to name the beat. What do you think about that beat? I'm just going to call it Hunky Dory because, I mean, the way people name their beats is so random and arbitrary, and anyways, we'll just name it Hunky Dory. Here's part of my post workflow that I forgot already. Adding your beat tag. So I add my beat tag. Let's find out where's a good place for it. I think right there in that little piece of silence.
Little G, big life.
That's fine right there. That's part of the post beat process. You got to put your tag on there. Go get a tag. Make your own tag. Okay, that's part of the post workflow. Before I shut down Logic Pro, so we have our wave, we have our MP3. You're going to need what's called track outs. Track out is every single track in its own wave, and that's to be able to get the best mixing and mastering possible and to be able to charge the most for your beats. So you want to be able to, Logic Pro makes it very easy to track everything out. You're going to go up here, export. 9 tracks as audio files, or all tracks as audio files. That's what I like. All tracks as audio files. And then what I'll do is I have a track out folder, so I'll put it in my track out folder. And then I'll also create a new folder for this. Now we call this Hunky Dory Beat. Yeah, we'll just call it Hunky Dory Track Out. It's all the information we will put inside. Hunky Dory Track Out, create. Boom. So that's where it's going to save. Now in here, custom text. You want to save it, your custom text, you want it to be the name of your beat. That way every one of these, it'll say piano hunky dory, guitar hunky dory. It's a good way of keeping everything accounted for. Looks like it's doing it as AIFs. I prefer wave. Either should be fine. So I'm going to do wave, hunky dory, new folder, boom. Now it's tracking them all out. What we're doing this for is for BeatStars and TrackTrain. And that's very important. If you go back to the garage, if you go back to the previous episodes, we've talked about BeatStars and TrackTrain. There's also Airbit. So BeatStars, TrackTrain, and Airbit. The outlets I'm going to be using to sell my beats are BeatStars, TrackTrain, YouTube, and SoundCloud. YouTube and SoundCloud, I could just put up like an MP3 and I could say, email me, whatever. I also could say, go to my BeatStars or TrackTrain. Could have everything directed there. On BeatStars and TrackTrain, you have track outs. That's where people are going to want to get it from. You know, it's all, you upload it and it's sitting there online for you, ready to go. Final step before I upload everything, create artwork. You should have custom album artwork. Now, if you want to, you can do it on your phone. You can do it on like a free Paint app or any easy app. I just use Photoshop. In the name, you want to have your BPM. Some people would recommend that you have the key that it's in, but I don't even know what key it's in. Just because this says it's in C major doesn't necessarily mean it's in C major. Okay, so we'll drag this down to where we can see it. Boom. We got our Photoshop here. Boom. Big hit. A beat by gLife. That's a cool beat. Go check it out at georgelife.com/beats. That's my post beat workflow. I'm going to chop it up on video and make it look fast, but in all reality, that whole post beat took me 27 minutes. So it is 27 minutes out of your day, but it's not a long time to get all the track outs. Well, then you have to upload to BeatStars, TrackTrain, YouTube, SoundCloud. At the end of the day, it takes me about 1 hour post beat to make the thumbnail, get all the files correct, get all the files uploaded. There's one more really smart thing to do is if you have any clients that like your beats. I have a couple. First of all, Fat G, Des Troy. These guys have bought my beats. So if you have any people like that, you want to send them beats ahead of time. Maybe before you upload Hunky Dory to BeatStars, maybe you text it out, email it out to a couple of your friends. Maybe you give it a week before you put it online. Tell them, hey man, I just wanted to let you hear this exclusively before I put it online. All right, today we made a simple hip-hop beat for beginners on Logic Pro X. We discussed follow-up in the form of post-beat workflow, file structure, which files to make, how to upload, who to send to, etc. Hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. If you did, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. And please, if you did enjoy it, please share on your favorite social media network, as that helps the algorithm immensely. Also, follow me on any social media network at gLife. Check out my website, gLife.com. Check out all my beats, gLife.com/beats. And I'll catch you later. I'm going swimming.
Little G, big life.
Come back every day. Check out more videos. Can I flow? I go. My name is Joe. Need my cup of Joe every morning before I grab my hoe. And I ain't about that. I do my garden snap. Cause they call me Old MacDonald, wear my gardening hat. Where my farmers at? Yeah, we grow that dro. And we smoke it every day cause we know we...
Little G.